Welcome to Get Serious. You can see I'm recording this not in my primary setup here. Still returning from Las Vegas, being at the Hormozi $100 million affiliate event here. Truly life-changing. Flight got delayed on the way back, so bit of a frazzled schedule here in the middle of the week, but I wanted to at least record a few minutes. I've been to a number of live events throughout my professional career, and I don't know if I've ever taken this many notes. Uh, during an event before. I didn't even know what to expect, frankly, coming to this event. I know, the acquisition.com headquarters, like they'll routinely have folks come out for kind of scaling workshops that I think are primarily handled by the ACQ team, but not necessarily Alex or Layla fully. But in this case, like it was 11 straight hours of just Alex kind of running the show exclusively here. So I think it was a really unique event from that perspective. This is going to be a bit more of a teaser podcast because I want to do it justice by going like line by line through my notes for the following one. But just wanted to share at least some of my initial reactions kind of that day after. And where it was just like, okay, even though I didn't get to be in one of the hot seats or ask some of the questions, I was lucky to be there in the first place as randomly selected affiliate for his launch. Um, there were so many just common themes about the different entrepreneurs there, and like this was not like a real estate conference. This is affiliate. Um, most of the folks who were there were just marketers, right? It was an event set up for affiliates for the launch. So not surprising, but there were still a lot of industries represented, but just with a heavier marketing focus on them. But yeah, a number of real estate folks were there too. But even amongst like just kind of the grab bag of people showing up there, and it was just remarkable on how much similarity there was between the struggles that we kind of perceive as entrepreneurs, like being like solely related to our own specific situation. But there was at least like four or five different entrepreneurs with like kind of similar revenues, within that 1 to 3 million-ish dollar swamp that's so common for entrepreneurs to kind of hit a wall, and we would consider ourselves one of those too, from a growth perspective, that are just like dealing with exactly the same stuff or kind of similar thought processes, and just similar type of struggles and distractions and opening up different businesses and so forth. I almost had to just chuckle at it. It's like, yeah, we all think we're so clever in our own right, but there's just so many folks who are just running into the same things or trying to do the exact same thing, and hitting the key roadblocks, which Alex was quick to point out. And just the overall level of sophistication of their team there. I just always appreciate high level customer service and people out there greeting us. The breakfast opens at like 7 a.m. Like really long day. Like they put an effort in to have a just tight itinerary, stay on time. Like there really wasn't much networking time besides the breakfast. The lunch was super short. Kind of grab your food, get back in, which I like. I didn't mind. Like that's the main part of the value why we're all out there. Very tight event in the middle of the week. Like it not being really real estate related and such a grab bag, like the networking was um secondary at best. But I just appreciated like the level of just thoroughness they put in from every single person working in the event space. And you could just tell like, yeah, this is a really high level operation, whole even security to get in and so forth. And it's like, yeah, this is like big brand. You don't know who's showing up to these type of things. So like I get it. There just has to be an extra heightened level of just making sure everybody kind of stays cool, and hey, you can't record anything within here, and just like the media team and the AV they have in kind of the backup of the event. They have like 10 plus people with all these different angles and cameras just like working seamlessly here. Like I haven't seen quite a production like that. How much they've invested into, okay, prepping this event for additional content to push out after, and just like again like the level of seriousness that Alex and his team kind of kept or handled themselves with. Again, that this was just indicative of like, yeah, this is a really serious operation. Like these people, like there's there's a reason they've made a ton of money and have had so much business success, because it's just like, yeah, game plan is just day after day focus to deliver as much value as possible, and still make a ton of money. I don't want to step on my follow on here. Again, this is like a little bit of just the, hey, you're catching me right after the event, and I already have like just immediate changes that I'm going to be adjusting into my own business here. Again, I had no real expectations on what to get out of this, and it was just extraordinarily helpful. Like I was just so lucky to be invited to, frankly, like a one of a kind event like this from the book launch here. And that's what Hormozi and his team always say is like, intelligence is kind of defined by the rate of change that you make to your behavior. So it's like, yeah, if you don't actually take something that you've learned and implement real change, especially quickly, then you probably haven't, well, you certainly haven't learned anything. Uh, that is what I'm taking to heart here. And you kind of have to like stick with that momentum, understanding, hey, there's a reason why some of these, that these guys, Alex and his team, have made so much money, is because they've been through so many of these mistakes that us other entrepreneurs have been there and like still trying to figure it out on our own way and getting punched in the face when it's like, or you could just like realize, yeah, other folks have tried to figure it out, and you know they had to figure it out the harder way, and like, okay, you can kind of either take those lessons to heart, or still try to maintain your own ego and figure it out on your own. So it wasn't like a very good or it wasn't like a feel good conference by any means. It was like these are real truths, the honesty, and like, okay, let's try to problem solve here, which I, again, that fits my personality. I really appreciated it, but it was sometimes where the ground just starts to like shake beneath your feet, like, yeah, okay, this is really speaking to me here, and these are kind of the key changes that I need to make. So more for me to comment on, and I will give you kind of line by line key breakdowns I think you're going to find really, really interesting when I break this down in the following podcast, as well as the next newsletter here. But, I'm certain that you're going to find of deeper value here, and hopefully like even some of these initial impressions like give you an idea on the level of impact just generally and what is in store to come. So with that in mind, SeriousLand.capital for any of your funding needs, and Land Daily Diligence Facebook group. And with that, subscribe and share, everybody. Take care now. Bye.